I'm Josiah, welcome to Pioneer T, and I'm here with
Mr. Contreras.
And how did you get started here at Mount Whitney High School?
I got started here as an activities director. Just a little bit about myself, what brought me to being an activities director. I started my career at El Diamante back in 2008. At LD, I taught English, and I was a coach for 3 sports: golf, girls golf, boys golf, and wrestling. After 8 years of working at LD, I got a job in Porterville, which is where I grew up, teaching ASB and English at Monache High School. That job was probably my most fun job that I've ever had, because I learned how to be an activities director. But it was really hard to do both. So when I first came to Mount Whitney, I came to teach ASB. That year was probably the hardest year of my life for a lot of reasons. One, that was the year that COVID happened, but it was also the year that my 3rd baby boy was born. Ooh. During COVID. Yeah. Totally changed my life like a lot of people. And so I had to focus more on being a family man and a father, and focus this on one class. And so now I teach English.
Yeah, English. Was that the beginning of COVID or at the end of COVID?
Yeah, it was 2017 was my first year at Mount Whitney.
What inspires you to be an English teacher?
I think I first became inspired to be an English teacher when I first graduated high school back in junior college. I went to Porterville College.
Did it always Did it always become like easy to you, like writing like essays and all that?
For me, yeah, I was really lucky. Both my parents were teachers, and so early on, I had to read a lot. My mom was my first elementary school principal.
They would always make you have good grades and stuff?
Yeah, my mom was my first elementary school principal.
Yeah, I know what it's like. My family's all educators, and they all make you have like top grades. You can't be absent or nothing.
Nope, I didn't get away with
You go to all the back to school meetings, and they're there with you and everything.
All that. And then, but when I first graduated high school, believe it or not, I thought I wanted to like be a computer programmer and make video games. But then I found out that required a lot of math. And I had a professor at Porterville College that offered me a job helping kids write their essays as a writing tutor. And I really liked it, and I was really good. I helped a lot of our athletes do better on their essays. Because of that experience, that professor helped me get into college. And so I went to I transferred to UC Santa Cruz from Porterville College. At UC Santa Cruz, I also tutored kids in writing and helped them with their essays. And it's that point when I realized like I had an ability to help kids and make it fun. So then I went and I did really well at UC Santa Cruz. So I was admitted to a PhD program in literature at UC San Diego because I did so well. At UC San Diego, part of what my scholarship to pay for school was I had to teach a freshman class, so I taught freshman writing at UC San Diego. I was like the most popular writing assistant at the school in my college. I worked for 6 College. So after working in graduate school for several years, I realized that I was going to get a PhD to be a professor in a college, but I liked teaching more than I liked being a professor. So I stopped doing my graduate program and started looking for a way to get my teaching credential. That was 2006, 2007. I moved back from San Diego to the Valley, and I got a job working for UC Merced, helping kids from all over Tulare County to get into college.
I've been to all of those colleges you're talking about.
Yeah, beautiful places, right?
I went to, I think it was called Summer University, and they took us to all like the colleges around in the Valley area or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that.
So that's a program that was part of the office that I worked for UC Merced. I used to work with the Summer Bridge kids. So part of my job with UC Merced was I was based at 3 different high schools in Tulare County: El Diamante, Corcoran High, and Strathmore High School. And I met somebody at El Diamante that gave me my first job. Ooh. And so that's how I got started. Part of what really inspires me is I really like working with kids who are from other countries who are learning English and learning how to be students. So that was my first job at El Diamante, and that's one of the classes that I teach now. I help kids from all over the world learn English so they can get jobs and do well in life. And that's my passion, because that's kind of my parents' story. My dad migrated here when he was really young. worked in the fields, worked his way up, and he ended up graduating for UC Berkeley in UC Berkeley's law school. My mom was the first in her family to graduate college. She ended up being a principal, and then she retired as a school board member in Porterville. So for me, helping kids who are from other countries I feel like is a good way to give back, because that's what my parents did.
Yeah. And whenever you became an English teacher, did they allow you to pick what English, like you picked like literature or?
Like what classes I teach?
Yeah.
No, that usually, you know, when you first start, you have to take the job that's open, you know. And so sometimes some of the jobs that I got at the schools that I worked at weren't like my number one thing to teach, that I wanted to teach. But for me, it's like you have to find things that make you excited about coming to work and passionate about teaching. And so that's easy for me, because what's makes me most passionate about showing up is helping students and working with young people. But for a lot of people, they might think that working with teenagers is the hardest part of our job. If you're going to be a good teacher, working with the teenagers has to be the easiest part of my job. The hardest part is working with the other adults.
Makes sense. Whenever you're teaching English, what is your favorite part of English?
My favorite part is probably the writing, helping kids write. I really like to hear students write in their voice. Yeah. I've also learned how to make writing more creative, and give kids more options in how they express themselves. Because
I've always learned, like in school, no one really pays attention to the book. They mostly pay attention to the essay, you know, like what's at the end, you know? And like I notice now, like in a lot of English classes, they don't make anyone write narratives or actually see like their capabilities. I had an English teacher a couple years ago. He made sure that we were able to write every single type. Like we were able to write explanatory, like explanatory, and it was like argumentative. And then I forgot what the other ones were, but he made us do like all the lists, you know, like a narrative, a personal narrative, a biography.
That's cool, and like that's definitely something I try to do in my classes. And another thing I've been doing over the last couple of years is I try to think about what are things that students have to do in real life. What are things that a student is going to have to do to get a job, or once they get the job, what is something they're going to have to do to keep the job, or in college, what are some of the things that they have to do in those classes that are most difficult. And what I found is the most common thing in the type of school system in the future that you guys are getting ready for is having to do presentations and having to work with the group cooperatively to solve a problem or to finish a project. At UC San Diego, my freshmen, most of their classes, it wasn't like they were just reading novels all the time to write an essay. They were having to read a bunch of different writers' work and then use that to create some project like they would have to do in a business or a corporation. That's something I try to carry with my students. In the past, I've worked with lots of kids from academies. So I taught an English class at Wenatchee where the students were learning to be construction workers or welders. And so they had to create an advertising program about a product that they made in their welding class or their wood shop. And then they had to create a presentation to get customers to buy that product. And that's exactly what they had to do the next year once they got the job for that company that welds, or that cabinet company that they were working for. In my experience, I think kids get more passionate about doing things that they know is going to help them in their real life.
Yeah, because like no kid's gonna want to measure an angle for a while and then he's gonna be like, oh, it's 30 degrees. Then later on he's gonna work somewhere else and he's never even gonna use that skill. Yeah. I noticed like a lot of people, they won't care about certain things because they'll never use it, and then that's part of the reason why they're failing or not succeeding. But aside from school, what are some hobbies outside of school you like to do? What are some things you like?
I really love music.
Music?
I'm super passionate about music. Back in the day, I was into hip hop and still am. I love alternative and rock music. In my life, I've been to over 300 concerts.
Yeah.
I've had all kinds of experiences where I've met artists and got autographs and stuff like that. So I'm super passionate about music. Sports, I'm a big time baseball and football fan. Love the Giants, love the San Francisco 49ers. I love to play golf. I learned how to play golf from my dad. I've taught my oldest son how to play golf, so now on the weekends,
where would you play golf
the three of us go and play. Well, I play right here in Visalia, Valley Oak, or in Tulare. I live in Tulare, so.
You've never been to any like far golf courses?
Oh, all kinds. I've been to Pebble Beach in Monterey.
I saw that one on TV.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I've played Torrey Pines in San Diego, where they play the U.S. Open every once in a while. I played TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, where they have this big golf tournament, professional golf tournament called the Waste Management Tour, which is like a huge event where millions of people go to have fun and watch golf. But yeah.
Did you ever win?
Me?
Yeah.
I've won a few tournaments. Yeah. Not professionally, but yeah.
Yeah, professionally.
That's pretty good. Yeah. The most I ever won. I won a tournament once in golf, and I won $2,000.
And in golf, you decided to choose like which one you start off with, right?
Which club?
Yeah. Which club?
Well, each club has a role, has a job.
Has a role.
So yeah, it has a job. So some clubs are designed to hit it far. Some clubs are designed to hit it short. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about golf, but my tutor, he used to play golf. He used to talk to me all about it all the time.
Yeah, it's super fun sport. You should try it.
If you had some advice to tell your younger self, what would you tell yourself?
I think one thing I would tell myself would be to try harder in school when I was in high school. In high school, for me, my educational experience, I had to learn how to be a student. And so junior college was learning how to be a student. Had I learned those skills before, I probably wouldn't have had to go to junior college, and I probably could have gone straight to a 4-year university. What
is your top 5 in music in general? If you just had to play your top 5 songs, what would it be?
Oh.
Or how about I'll come up with the easier one. What is your top 5 genres?
Of music?
Yeah.
I would probably say punk rock.
Punk rock.
Old school 80s and 90s punk rock. I really like what you guys call now indie rock. I like stuff that's on college radio stations. I really like Latin music. I like Latin jazz the most. I like rock en español. And finally, probably like classic rock, old school classic rock.
Thank you so much, Mr. Contreras, for coming on our podcast.
My pleasure.
And tune in for next time on Pioneer T. Thank you.